Okay, here we go. The latest installment of the pizza half of push-ups and pizza. So tonight, the freezer's full. I have no more room for frozen pizza, so I have to get to work on that next week. So I decided today to do a pizza tutorial. So I went and picked up a couple slices from a local pizzeria around the street. See, food porn people, do you see the pizza? Do you see the crust? Do you see thin, the nice cooked undercarriage? Yeah, look at that, food porn people. Yeah. All right, now that you guys have been taken care of, let's get on with the show. So, I was going to do a pizza eating tutorial today. I'm losing the top of my head. Let me bring this up just a little. So let's just jump right into it. These are the 5 methods, the 5 different ways that I eat pizza. And I know there's a lot of other methods out there, a lot of other ways people, I don't eat pizza that way. All right? So I'm not going to talk trash or discuss about pizza eating methods I don't use or don't know about. So if you want to contribute your pizza eating method, please put it in the comments below. Please share these videos. These videos are important. They are the only, well, I shouldn't say, it's kind of arrogant and condescending. This is an honest pizza review. So share. Please share these videos. As always, I have my Diet Sunkist orange soda for a hint of irony and flavor. So let's get started. So our first method of pizza in our pizza eating tutorial, obviously we are having our pizza on our Jordan and Avery Fagan childhood plates. So our first method is what's known as the open face or patetta method. Now this was named after a gentleman I used to work with. His name is Ronald Patetta. And Ronald had this really fascinating way. This actually probably the best way you should eat pizza if you're on a diet. And let me get this out of the way right now. There are no bad foods. There may be foods that certain foods that certain people cannot control their intake around, then that's a bad food for you. But that doesn't make it a bad food for everybody else. If you can eat pizza in a quantity relative to your caloric intake, then why are you not eating something you enjoy every now and then? If you shouldn't be eating pizza, then because you can't control eat 1, eat 2, eat 3, eat 4 slices, then my suggestion is either don't eat pizza or just designate it for certain times. I talk about my love of General Tso's chicken, and I only eat it on Christmas Day. I talk about my love of chicken parm sandwiches. I only eat them on or around the Super Bowl. But enough of that. This is the open face patetta method. What you do is you hold the pizza just like this, and then you proceed to eat it from the front to the back, from the triangle to the crust, one bite at a time. What's the advantage here? You'll actually enjoy the pizza that you're eating, which is kind of a big deal because if you're only going to have 1 or 2 slices because that's within your calorie budget, you're going to want to get the most flavor and the most taste for your calorie dollar. The other awesome thing about the open face or Ronald method is it's very, what's that word they're using now? It's very, that's not egalitarian. That's not trendy enough. What was the word? It's very inclusive. All right. You can use the open face Ronald method with a regular New Jersey, New York thin slice. You can use it with Sicilian, with deep dish, with very crispy crust pizza that might not hold up under the pressure of the folding techniques I'll talk about a little later. So it's really a great method for eating pizza if you know you're not going to go 3, 4, 5, 6 slices deep. So our second method is going to be what's known as the single or double finger fold. Now how this works is the single finger fold is where you will bend the crust at the end here. Do you guys see that right there? It's not a very good bend. And what you do then is with one set of fingers pinching the pizza, you again go from the front of the triangle back to the crust. Now, the idea behind eating pizza like this, it's the best of both worlds. You get partly the open-faced method, but then all of a sudden, you get this other method, which is found in the double finger fold method, in which you literally have now doubled the thickness of your pizza. And I gotta tell you what, there are very few things in life that rival the flavor of the double folded crust pizza. The downside of it, it's like most good times. It's over before you know it. Time is relative. Go put your hand on a hot stove. It feels like forever. Do the same thing with the double fold pizza technique, and it feels like you just blinked your eye. It's a wonderful way to eat pizza. The single fold, it kind of tries to walk the fence between having the open face method and then the advantage of having both sides of the crust, both sides of the cheese, both sides of the sauce, punching you in the face with flavor, a double pizza magnitude. right? It's the pizza version of the firepower that the Death Star puts out. And your taste buds, to quote Admiral Akbar, they just can't repel flavor of that magnitude. So that's the double and single fold method. Now the third method is the one I get the most questions about. It is not the way I normally eat pizza, but when you do pizza reviews, the third method is what's known as the taste tester method. The taste tester method is very specific. You'll take about 1 or 2 bites out of the front of the pizza's getting the hell beat out of it. I'm very sorry. We've lost the aesthetic component here, but whatever. You get 1 or 2 bites out of the triangle, and then you immediately go around and take a bite out of the crust. Now, why do taste testers do this? Because you don't want to sit here all day. You're struggling enough to sit here all day and listen to me ramble about the Death Star. You're not going to sit here and listen to me chew all day. There's no interest whatsoever for anybody in that. So the idea behind the taste tester method is you're trying to get maximal pizza flavor from the least amount of bites. And then you have a really good idea of what the pizza tastes like, what its strengths, what its weaknesses are. And then if you're like me and you're giving people honest reviews and not suck-up reviews looking for promotion or having your video shared, then people can go out there and make really good decisions regarding what pizza they're going to eat. Now our fourth method is what's known as the Tony Manero Method. Now this is named after Tony Manero, who was the protagonist, if that's what you want to call him. I don't really think he was the protagonist, but whatever, of Saturday Night Fever, and then the later, lesser-known film, one of my favorite films of all time, starring my favorite Stallone, Frank Stallone, known as Staying Alive. My favorite Stallone is by far Frank Stallone. Better boxer than Sylvester, way better singer. I don't know, he didn't get really a shot in acting, but whatever. Enough Stallone stuff. So the Tony Manero method is where you actually take 2 slices of pizza and you stack them on top of each other just like this. So you can see that right there. I've stacked them, and then you fold them and you eat them in this double stacked position. You'll see this in the first few minutes, the opening scene of the movie Saturday Night Fever, or is known in Israel as Dancing Meshuggah, right? So you have this double fold technique. Now, the only downside of the Tony Manero technique, pretty much the only downside of it is it's stupid. All right? First off, you thought the single fold technique was over before it started. Well, this, like, literally, you've eaten both your slices of pizza, and you don't even know what hit you. I've done this numerous times in my life in an attempt to try to make it work. It's just not worth it. You're really better off with an open face or a single fold method. The other downside of the method is you have to walk while you're eating your pizza, and I can barely walk erect as it is, let alone trying to eat pizza at the same time. Another downside of the method is you got to carry a goddamn paint can while you're eating it. Oops, that's backwards. You got to carry a goddamn paint can while you're eating it. I'll leave the video in the show notes, but basically you're carrying around a paint can. You're walking around while eating, really bad for digestion, and you're eating your damn pizza too quickly so you don't even really enjoy it. But it's the Tony Manero method. I tried it in the past. Maybe you want to try it sans paint can and sans walking. It's just, again, if you're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a whole pie deep, you can have this type of liberal approach. When you're spending other people's caloric money, you can have this liberal approach to how you eat your pizza. I don't recommend it, especially for dieters. Now, the fifth and final method, and I just want to qualify this. I've said numerous times on my video that I'm not a serial killer. And yet, I seem to do these things over and over and over again, which don't necessarily help my argument. Well, I have a bad feeling the way that I eat pizza, when I'm not taste testing it, is not going to help me very much in my defense that I'm not a serial killer. Because the fifth method is what's known as the Shank pizza taco. Now, I've been doing this method, so it's about 1980, 1981. I have no idea what inspired me to do this. There's some theories out there. One of my video consigliere said, Shank, no one wants to hear about your theories. They just want to see the pizza. They want to see the food. They want to be entertained. So don't go off on these long diatribes about your life. So fair enough. Maybe we'll do like an X-Men origin about the pizza taco technique. But I've been doing this for, it's got to be, what was that? 80 was what, 42 years ago? So I've been eating pizza like this. Again, no idea where it came from. I just did it. It seemed like the right idea. I enjoy it. Still do it to this day. Maybe not on the first or second date, but once the woman gets to know me and she's in too deep, you're going to take me warts and all. So again, the pizza's got two parts. It's got the triangle and the crust. So how the pizza taco, the Shank technique works, is you take all the cheese off the triangle. You tear it off. So let's see this so you can see it. Because I know some of you people are into food handling and tearing. Shouldn't make it funny. You're probably going to make most of my views. But you tear all that cheese off of the triangle and you place it neatly on the Avery and Jordan Fagan childhood plate. Now what you're going to do is you're going to separate the crust from the triangle. So I'm going to tear it off here, and I'm going to separate that crust from that triangle. It doesn't have to be too pretty. So now I've got three parts. I've got the triangle sans cheese, I've got the lone crust, and then I've got the cheese blob. Maybe you want to see that up close, because I know, again, some of you really want to see. There's the cheese and saucy blob. There is the naked triangle, all right? And then there is the plain crust. So now what you do in the pizza taco technique is you take the empty triangle and you roll it up. And this forms almost like a vegetarian braciole. Now, you can put toothpicks in this to keep it together. Just be very careful. Please don't eat the toothpicks. And then what you would do is you take your vegetarian braciole and you take a bite out of it. And it's delicious. Now, I've tried in the past to just separate the crust from the cheese and then have it like on a cheesy braciole. The problem is then you're left with all this crust and there's not really much to do with it unless you have some. The only time that's ever worked is when I have buffalo wings and I can dip the pizza crust in the buffalo wing sauce. Then that's actually a good method. So now what you do is you've eaten your pizza braciole, your vegetarian braciole, not the toothpicks. And what you do is you hollow out the pizza crust. Okay, you do this with your index finger. Make sure you wash your hands before you eat, period, but especially before this method. So now what you do is you hollow out the crust and it forms almost like this hard taco shell, just like this. Can you see that? Can you see that right there? So there's my hard. Now, normally it's not this brutal looking, but after all the demonstrations of the other method, the crust is taking a beating. This isn't a Timex watch. It doesn't take a licking and keep on sticking. It's dough, right? But now I have my pizza taco crust. I'm going to take my pizza taco cheese, my cheese blob. I'm going to stick it inside the crust, just like this. And now I have my vegetarian braciole, and I've got my pizza taco, just like that. Right? So you got the crust on the side, you got the cheese and the sauce in the middle, and then just you go front to back. Take a big bite. I really love eating pizza like this. I need a moment. She makes me so goddamn happy. I need some Sunkist Diet Orange Soda. All right, that's it. I'm way too happy right now to be doing any more video. Right? You guys know dogs, food, and movies are about the closest my ass is ever going to come to seeing God. So this video's over now. I'm going to take my pizza taco. I'm going to put on some BoJack Horseman. It's a shout out to my ladies DKP Fit and BL Smooth, little BoJack Horseman, while I eat my pizza taco, my vegetarian braciole. And the awesome thing is, I got a whole second slice of heaven right here. So that's it. Thanks for joining us. Again, please share these videos. And also, if you want to share your pizza eating method, put it in the comments. That's it. Thank you, everybody.